Hello everyone, it's Destroyer here with a video of my Stronghold level 14, starting the Guardian mode as well as doing the personal tournament. In Guardian mode you must be 5,000 honor, and once you do start it you have 24 hours to get to 5,050 honor for a ring reward, and that will progress after each day. So I did already start about 15 minutes ago and I haven't done any battles yet. So I'm going to go to the battle screen now, to the map, and I'm also going to do this personal tournament. I am starting at an 8 win streak, which gives me a decent amount of rings to start with. So I'm going to start this battle now, and you can see that there's already people in here. Might have just started, but there is about 32 people already in here out of 50. It feels very fast right now. So once I close that I get 5 extra battle stones, and I now have 10 battle stones to start with. So that's just enough for me to finish the tournament. So a Stronghold level 14 at an 8 streak gets 3 honor and 13 rings. So that's a decent amount of honor for a 5,000 honor start. So normally in the first 7 attacks I only get about 1, maybe 2 honor, so it is quite hard to climb up in Guardian mode. So this base I do come across a lot. I do prefer to try and start from the bottom here, since the sides the troops might wander off. You notice that first squad of wardens I dropped got hit by the cursed spell tower. The cursed spell tower does deal some damage, but it also affects the units, causing them to take an increased 50% damage, and they can't be healed for 10 seconds as well. So the paladins that I dropped down next to them cannot heal them for 10 seconds, so they pretty much died. They're quite useless to me. So I did have 1 squad less after taking that down. Now I'm just trying to keep the splash damage away from me. And that flare tower is quite nasty as well. I just missed that on the spell. But it has been taken down now. The catapults at the back are difficult to deal with, so I do use the magnetic pulse on that. And do note that this footage was taken the same day as the Trickster's Wake campaign came out, so that's why I'm using Talasin here and not Erasmus. I do prefer using Erasmus most of the time now. So this is an 8 streak. This is where it starts getting difficult for my Stronghold 14, 8 and onwards. So quite often I get a very difficult base at 8 and it gets harder later on. Sometimes you get a few easier ones later on, but 8 streak seems to be the toughest for some reason. So I will just clean up the rest of the gold here and abort the battle. So that's the first one complete, and it gives me 11 rings to my personal tournament tally, as well as brings me up to 5,003 in Guardian mode. So being a Stronghold 14, I do have a big advantage in the personal tournament, since my ring rewards are much higher than a lower level Stronghold. So let's keep progressing in the battles here. I need to do another 9 to finish this tournament. Jon Snow is worth the same here, 3 honor and 13 rings. So using Talasin here, I like to spread my wardens out a little bit, make sure they can get me through the wall before I drop the paladins so they don't wander off. So with the Talasin I like to drop my troops furthest away from the splash damage, which in this case is down in the same position as the last attack. So I'm going to just drop my wardens first, get them through one wall, then it's safe to drop the paladins. They won't walk around to that dragon's nest, dragon roost. So they're through now. I can start dropping my magnetic pulse. Wait for the splash damage to kick in, catapults, arrow launchers and the flare tower. There are some cursed spell towers there, but my troops are fairly spread apart now. It's not a major threat at this stage. I'm mostly concerned about the splash damage at the back because my troops can't reach that. I just missed that flare tower, but it was getting taken down. So at this stage most of the paladins have died off, making my wardens very vulnerable to just about every defense here. They are quite fragile, so it is important that you keep the paladins alive long enough. Sometimes I will use 3 paladins and 3 wardens. So I get the gold here, that's enough. So that brings me up to a 6 gain in honour and 26 in the rings. And the 10 streak gives me Primus from the relic chest. The next chest will be at 12 streak. So I'm doing quite well already, as you can see. The others have to do a lot more battles just to keep up with me. Same as before, just the rings going up by 1 now. I'm getting 14 rings. I can get up to 16. So yes, the highest level Stronghold will often come first, but they do need more rings. Yeah, the lower Strongholds don't need that many rings, but you do need to save them up early. I have a lot of battle boosts here, which you really need to use during personal tournaments. So I've gone with just some soldiers. They make a good distraction. So you can drop them somewhere to distract the arrow launcher and catapult, but you need to drop them in a position where they're not going to be attacked by other defences, otherwise they'll die very quickly. So there's a lot of protection around the outside. It's hard to snipe this with dragons, since there's a watchtower or a sky watcher. Fortunately the flare tower is upgrading here. Dropped my wardens to help me get through the first layer of walls. You do not want your paladins running around to those builders' huts. So everything's coming in now. It's quite dangerous, but the paladins do help you heal. I dropped my distraction on the inside there. It does trigger off a lot of the spell towers. The magnetic pulse around the stronghold, which is affecting most of the splash damage. You can just drop it nicely like that one and it will freeze just about everything. So far so good. I still have some wardens alive, some paladins alive there, but as soon as they're gone, those catapults will start hitting my wardens. And as you can see, they're dropping like flies. This is where your dragon's roost come in handy. As long as you've cleared out most of those watchtowers and sky watchers, you should be able to snipe that stronghold. So I was fortunate enough here to snipe this stronghold. That's typically the strategy I use with Talasin. I think Talasin is much stronger than Fourveil as far as attacks on the stronghold. So I think he's much faster at taking it down, but I'm not 100% sure there. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more of the gold here. Not that much left, and I'm just going to get a little bit with the dragon effect. So I left 6,000 behind, but I'm more concerned about winning this personal tournament. So 11 streak, 14 rings, 3 honour. I'm up to 5,009, which is pretty good. I'm coming second place already. So of course this room is already filled. Feels very, very fast now. There are lots of players. Now looking at the next attack is going for my 12th streak. And I think it's worth the same. Maybe the honour's different. Yeah, I'm up to 15 rings now. It's pretty good. Still 3 honour. Bases do get harder than this. You can get 4, 5 and 6. This one's pretty deadly. There's the dual Primus conduits, level 7. And I think these arrow launchers and catapults are maxed out as well. So it's quite deadly to attack from that angle with Talasin. You can use the magnetic pulse over that, but it would take a very long time to penetrate into there to take them down. So I'm going to totally avoid them and attack from the southwest. Drop my troops a little bit to the left so they will progress to the right and then move in from there. Didn't want them to bulk up around the corner. So one squad of paladins on each of those. I can nicely spread my troops apart because that cursed spell tower is going to really do some damage there, prevent my troops from healing. So now it's time to use the magnetic pulse over the Primus conduits. Lots of nasty damage coming in from there. Notice that I have left my dragon till last, but fortunately I didn't need it this time because I've kept away from most of the splash damage. So just keep using the magnetic pulse to freeze that, to disable the defences. And that's another success. Just going to finish cleaning up here. Get every last piece of gold. And that is another win. Getting good rings here. I am trying to save up for Stronghold 15, which is 25,000 rings. So I think I'm progressing at around 1,000 a day. So this is my last relic chest, and I got a really nice 2500 pure Primus. Pure Primus is the best type. So the next chests are at 14 onwards. Coming first in the personal tournament, and I don't think anyone can catch me here unless they're around my Stronghold level, which I believe most people are around Stronghold 5 and 6 because they just started playing the game. So we're continuing on now. All the bases are pretty much hard from now on. Sub-Zero is a very hard base. 3 honor and 15 rings. This one has a lot of outside towers you can snipe with the dragon, but if you do that you run the risk of not getting the stronghold down and not having the dragon left over to snipe. So the flare tower is level 3. He's a Stronghold 15 here. It's quite difficult. He has the Primus conduits split up. Oh, they know they're together, so this is a dual conduit setup. So that catapult's going to be the most deadliest, and also that cursed spell tower. So I'll go ahead and use... will I? No, I don't think I will in this one. Actually, yeah, I was hoping to use some mana hunters. Maybe I can take down that Skywatcher first and then deploy it. That'll help me to build up some mana so I can use more magnetic pulse. It's not the best option, but I didn't think I needed too much help with this one. So I did make the mistake of sniping a lot of outside towers first. But I did try and avoid that watchtower. Came in from this angle to get 3 more mana. And for the dragon, I did try and move him out of the way, but he was in range of that defense. Totally lost my focus on that, and he does eventually die. I got the Skywatcher down and deployed the mana hunters, helping me a lot there, but my other troops haven't come through the wall, so they're not really helping out. Came at a bad angle on this one actually, because I can't reach the flare tower, and that one's quite nasty. I pretty much attacked all the splash damage from a side angle, which is a big mistake. Should have come from the southwest or the northeast. So this was a very bad angle to choose. It was an okay angle for a stronghold snipe. However, my dragon already died, so that was quite unfortunate. So I did lose this one. So the lesson there is to save the dragon until the end, and also attack from the least heavy splash damage side. Don't attack from the sides. So I have been overtaken here, but I do have a lot of attempts left. Back down to a 0 streak, which gives me 1 honor and 7 rings. You'll notice I also lost a lot of honor there as well. I think that was 6 honor lost. So it's a big hit to the Guardian mode tally there. So these earlier streaks, the attacks are quite easy. So you can pretty much just spam all of your troops, as long as you drop them in a place where they'll easily path in, and you can just drop the magnetic pulse to disable most of the defences. So I do run through these early ones pretty quickly. I would prefer if they were a bit harder and gave me some more honour. This is just the way it is. The first 7 are fairly easy. However, you still can mess them up. All it takes is your troops to path the wrong way, and it could end up in failure. So to 1 streak now, still 1 honour, but we're now working with 8 rings for a win, which is what you get towards the personal tournament. So that's why it's better to start at a longer streak. So the most I can get is 160 points for the tournament. It is quite hard to stay above the 8 streak. So the dragon sniping some outside towers. That'll build up some recharge for a few passes with the dragon. I'm just trying to keep my troops together here to path in. Magnetic pulse to disable and just push through. There's some upgrading defences there which works in my favour. But there's a lot of splash damage at the back. Just perfect for a magnetic pulse. I missed that catapult. Missed it again. So I have that dragon worked up now. I can do a couple of passes. Not really that necessary. It is quite an easy attack. Treasure chest at 2. I have quite a lot of the 16,000 golds. I've got 67 of them there. It's quite a lot. I can also get the 32,000 and 64,000. Actually, I'm not sure if the 64,000 came from the loyalty chest or from a treasure chest. I think it was loyalty chest. So we're working with the same amount again. 1 honor and 8 rings. And this appears to have minimum loot, so this is about as much as little gold as I find at Stronghold 14. I wish that was a bit higher now because the cost of donating kingdom troops has gone up. It cost me 25,000 just to donate 1 soldier now, and 125,000 for a warden. So minimum loot is not so good at this stage. I'm just trying to get through the wall here. A lot of the splash damage is around the stronghold, so I can magnetize that. Just waiting to get close enough to drop it. So once again my troops have decided to wander off around the outside, which is not much use for my main group of troops there, taking much longer to take those buildings down. So I can just quickly finish off this base. I think most of it might be in the storage. 4,000 left in the collectors there. And just fast forward. So as you can tell, I'm pretty much just using magnetic pulse on all of my attacks. The other spells I don't really use much. One honor and 9 rings here. I drop my wardens at a slight angle here so they take the smelters down, then move into the middle. That way they won't wander off to the sides. I want them to all path down the middle here. Very symmetrical base, gives me perfect positioning with a magnetic pulse. The first spell can be handy here, but with clumped defenses like this, the magnetic pulse is the best bang for buck. 10 mana for that. All the spell towers clumped as well. And that will do it. Just 3,000 in the smelters. We'll quickly rush through this and get to those. So much mana, I can just keep dropping those magnetic pulse. Streak of 4 is a relic chest. I already have all of the ancients with the exception of Tokumi, which is from a daily reward. And I do unlock that tomorrow morning, so looking forward to that. It's my last ancient for now. Lots of loot now. This makes up for those minimum loot bases. Still only 1 honor though. It is very difficult to climb Guardian mode at 1 honour at a time, so I use 7 battle stones to get 7 honour, and if I lose one I end up going further back than I started, so losing one here cost me 8 honour. So you really need to pull in those long streaks. So similar to the last one, symmetrical down the middle. I can force my troops right up there and drop the magnetic pulse when I get close. That gives my troops time to get through the wall. The spell towers can be a problem. It's not so much the damage that they do, but the effect. It increases the damage you take from them, as well as preventing you from healing. So this did look like a very easy base. However, the bulk of my troops took a lot of damage from the cursed spell tower, and that flare tower just totally ripped into me. It does a lot of damage to a lot of troops and pretty much took me down in a flash. So I didn't get through this base very quickly at all. I could have done this base 10 times and got different results, so sometimes you just mess up like this. You've got to watch that spell tower. So as I said, 8 honour lost just for that mistake, just because of my troops getting hit by the spell tower. Also, I should have saved some mana for the flare tower, or possibly used the first spell to shield them. So there's 2 ways to try and prevent that. So only a 4 streak there and I lose 8 honour. It's quite a big hit. As you can see, after all that effort, my honour is now only 5,002. So it's a pretty harsh punishment there. So I was quite fortunate enough to not be in a room with someone else that was high level Stronghold, because 87 is not a very good score for a Stronghold 14. So I hope you've learned a lot from these Talasin attacks. He is a very good ancient to use. I have unlocked Erasmus and he still is my favourite, but on the bases that are hard to snipe outside towers, I will typically switch back to Talasin. So I do have over 2,000 wins on him. He is a very powerful ancient indeed. I am going on holidays in the beginning of June, but don't worry, I will have some videos queued up for you to watch, including 3 more Talasin attack videos. In the meantime, we do have our very first Rival Kingdoms event coming up shortly, so I may bring you some footage of that. And I'll also try and do some more Twitch live streams, so keep an eye out on my Twitter for notifications on when that's starting. That's all for now, guys. See you later.